Contact light. Okay, engine stop. APA at a descent. Mode control both auto, descent engine command override off. Engine arm off. 413 is in.
We've had shutdown.
We copy you down, Eagle.
Okay, everybody, T1, stand by for T1.
Tranquility Base here. The Eagle has landed.
Roger, Tranquility. We copy you on the ground. You got a bunch of guys about to turn blue. We're breathing again. Thanks a lot.
Hello and welcome back to the RedMars Podcast. I'm your host, Astro Jake. Today, we're diving into a story that's as old as human curiosity itself, the journey to the moon. We'll explore what it took to get there, why we've stayed away for so long, and how our drive to reach Mars actually is pulling us back to the moon, however this time to stay. So buckle up, because this is a ride through time, technology, and the next giant leap for humankind. The race to the moon. The journey to the moon wasn't just about science. It was a race. The Cold War era pushed the United States and the Soviet Union into a space race, each vying for dominance beyond our planet. After the Soviets' early victories, like launching Sputnik in 1957 and sending the first human, Yuri Gagarin, into orbit in 1961, the pressure was on. Then came President John F. Kennedy's bold declaration in 1962.
We choose to go to the moon in this decade and do the other things, not because they are easy, but because they are hard. Because that goal will serve to organize and measure the best of our energies and skills. Because that challenge is one that we're willing to accept, one we are unwilling to postpone, and one we intend to win. And the others too.
This set the stage for the Apollo project. It took years of relentless effort, thousands of scientists and engineers, and a budget that, well, in today's dollars, would be around $150 billion. Finally, on July 20th, 1969, the Apollo 11 lunar module Eagle touched down on the moon. A moment immortalized by Neil Armstrong's words, "That's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind." But what most people don't realize is how risky this mission actually was. Armstrong and Aldrin had to manually pilot the lander to avoid boulder fields, landing with just 20 seconds of fuel remaining. One wrong move, and history as we know it today would have taken a very different course.
4 forward, drift into the right a little.
30 seconds.
Down a half.
30 seconds.
Forward, just.
After Apollo 11, NASA continued to push forward with lunar missions. Between 1969 and 1972, 6 more Apollo missions landed on the moon. Apollo 12 refined precision landing. Apollo 14 explored the Fra-Maur highlands, and Apollo 15 introduced the lunar rover. This allowed astronauts to travel farther and collect more samples. Apollo 16 and Apollo 17 went even deeper into lunar geology. Yet despite these achievements, the public interest waned. The moon landings, once seen as miraculous, became routine in the eyes of many. So why haven't we returned? Well, the answer is complex. After Apollo 17, 1972, the last manned mission to the moon, public interest and political will fizzled. The Vietnam War strained U.S. budgets, and priorities shifted. Space exploration was seen as too costly without clear immediate benefits. NASA pivoted to other projects like the Space Shuttle program and later to the International Space Station, focusing on low Earth orbit (LEO) rather than deep space exploration. Another key factor? Well, that's the Cold War space race was over. With the US having won by landing on the moon first, the intense pressure to continue pushing farther into space, well, that faded. Then that brings us to the new frontier. Mars has entered the spotlight. Space agencies worldwide, NASA, ESA, and even private space companies like SpaceX and Blue Origin are pushing the boundaries, not just to man humans on Mars, but to build sustainable colonies there. So why Mars? Well, it's the most Earth-like planet in our solar system, with polar ice caps, seasons, and an atmosphere, albeit a thin one, but still there. It's a place where, with the right technology, we could imagine a future for humanity. Elon Musk has famously said his goal is to make life multi-planetary, and Mars is at the heart of that vision. The Artemis program aims to return humans to the moon by mid-2020s, possibly closer to 2030 at this point, as a stepping stone to Mars. Well, the plan? Establish a long-term presence on the moon, building habitats, testing technologies, and developing ways to use local resources, all to prepare for the even longer journey to Mars. So, why does the moon matter now? Well, here's the twist. We can't get to Mars without mastering the moon first. The moon is a perfect testbed for life in space. It's close, it's harsh, and it forces us to innovate. Lunar resources like water, ice, could be used for fuel. And the moon's low gravity offers a strategic launch point for Mars missions. There's also the idea of a lunar gateway, an orbiting space station around the moon that would serve as a staging point for deeper space exploration. Think of it like cosmic rest stop, a place to refuel, repair, and, well, get ready for that next big leap over to Mars. So, let's look at the road ahead then. What comes next? Well, Artemis 1, an uncrewed test flight, has already laid the groundwork. Artemis 2 will take astronauts around the moon, and Artemis 3 aims to put humans back on the lunar surface for the first time in over 50 years. Beyond that, NASA envisions the Artemis Base Camp, a permanent lunar base where astronauts will live and work, testing the very systems that will one day take us to Mars. And let's not forget the private sector's role here. Companies like SpaceX, Blue Origin, and others are pouring billions into making space travel more affordable and sustainable. So, the next time someone asks, why are we going back to the moon? Tell them this. The moon is not the final destination. It's the launchpad for the future. Humanity's next steps will be from the dusty plains of the moon, but the ultimate goal lies 140 million miles away on Mars. Thanks for tuning in to the RedMars Podcast. If you've enjoyed today's episode, don't forget to subscribe, leave a review, and join the conversation on our social media. I'm Astro Jake, and I'll catch you next time as we continue exploring the final frontier. And don't forget, stay curious, keep looking up. Take care, everyone.